In the shadowed corridors of professional sports, where fortunes rise on the arc of a jump shot and empires crumble under the weight of unfulfilled promises, the WNBA stands at a precipice, its future hanging like a taut wire between explosive growth and simmering discontent. December 2025 arrives not with a fanfare of championship parades, but with a low rumble of uncertainty, as negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement drag into their final, feverish hours, threatening to unravel the very fabric of a league reborn in the fire of unprecedented stardom. At the heart of this storm swirls Caitlin Clark, the Iowa-bred prodigy whose every step has ignited a revolution, transforming sleepy arenas into sold-out spectacles and quiet broadcasts into cultural phenomena. Yet, as the calendar flips toward a new year, it's not Clark's dazzling crossovers or her logo threes that dominate the discourse. It's the stark question of her worth, a valuation that pits the league's soaring revenues against the paltry paychecks doled out to the women who bleed for them. Into this fray steps Adam Silver, the NBA's silver-tongued commissioner, his voice cutting through the noise like a referee's whistle in overtime, delivering a message that feels equal parts bomb and battle cry. A reminder that while the numbers dazzle, the negotiations demand something fiercer: justice, recognition, and a reckoning long overdue. Imagine the scene unfolding in the opulent glow of a network studio, the kind where leather chairs cradle titans of industry and the air hums with the electricity of unscripted truths. It's early December, the chill of winter seeping into the bones of a league still basking in the afterglow of a record-shattering season, and Adam Silver leans into the microphone, his words measured yet resonant, painting a portrait of transformation that no spreadsheet could fully capture. He speaks of Caitlin Clark not as a mere athlete but as a catalyst, a force whose arrival in Indianapolis has sent ripples across oceans, turning the Indiana Fever from a perennial underdog into a global juggernaut. The Fever's popularity, he declares, isn't confined to the Heartland's fervent faithful. It's exploding worldwide, a viral wave crashing against the shores of indifference that once plagued women's basketball. Silver's praise lands like sunlight-piercing storm clouds, acknowledging the raw, undeniable impact of a young woman who, in her sophomore year, has already redrawn the league's map. Attendance figures, once modest tallies in half-empty halls, have ballooned to 2.5 million souls packing the stands last season, a milestone etched in the annals of WNBA history. Television screens, too, have flickered to life with 54 million unique viewers tuning in during 2024, their eyes glued to the court where Clark's wizardry unfolds. Passes that defy geometry, shots that mock gravity, moments that etch themselves into the collective memory of a sport awakening to its own power. And it's not just the metrics, it's the metamorphosis, the way Clark's shadow has spurred expansion for the first time in nearly 2 decades, birthing the Golden State Valkyries into instant contention, with whispers of Toronto and Portland franchises soon to follow, each one a testament to a league no longer content to whisper its ambitions but roaring them from the rooftops. Yet, as Silver's commendation echoes through the ether, it collides headlong with the jagged edges of a negotiation table scarred by concessions and clashes, where the promise of prosperity clashes against the reality of restraint. Rewind to the crisp autumn air of late September, when the Minnesota Lynx' playoff dreams evaporated in a haze of heartbreak, and forward Nafisa Collier stepped to the podium, her voice laced with the quiet fury of a warrior undervalued. In a revelation that sent shockwaves through locker rooms and living rooms alike, she recounted a conversation with WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, one that painted a picture of gratitude as a chain rather than a crown, suggesting that Clark, with her off-court fortune swelling to $16 million in endorsements, should count her blessings for the platform that elevated her, even as her on-court salary languishes in the low 5 figures. The words, whether precisely uttered or not, ignited an inferno of backlash, a chorus of players, fans, and pundits rising in unison to decry the notion that a phenom who has tripled the league's media rights value, poised now for an 11-year, $2.2 billion windfall starting in 2026, should be lectured on humility rather than rewarded with equity. Engelbert's denials did little to douse the flames. The damage festered, exposing fault lines in a league where merchandise flies off shelves emblazoned with Clark's name. Yet the women wearing those jerseys scrape by on wages that mock their miracles. Silver's timely tribute, then, emerges not in isolation but as a strategic salve, a nod from the NBA's overseer to the WNBA's undercurrents, reminding all that Clark's alchemy, from spiking jersey sales to fueling a cultural renaissance, demands more than applause. It demands a deal that mirrors her magnitude. Delve into the labyrinth of proposals laid bare on that negotiation floor, and the drama thickens into a thriller of trade-offs, where every gain gleams with a shadow of sacrifice. The league dangles a tantalizing vision, a salary cap tethered to revenue streams beginning in 2027, ballooning to $5 million per team, a figure that, divided among a dozen players, hints at averages cresting beyond $500,000 annually, with top talents like Clark potentially commanding $1.2 million in total compensation and minimums climbing to $225,000. A leap that could silence skeptics and solidify legacies. Revenue sharing, the great equalizer, promises to bridge the gaps, funneling a greater slice of the pie, now tripled by that landmark media deal, directly into players' pockets, fostering an ecosystem where excellence isn't just celebrated but compensated. Roster expansions, tweaks to draft eligibility, extensions of the season's length. These are the building blocks of a bolder blueprint, one that could propel the WNBA into the stratosphere alongside its male counterpart, where stars command fortunes befitting their firmament. But lurking beneath these blueprints are the barbs. A proposed share of league revenue dipping below 15%, a trajectory that could erode over time, leaving players perpetually chasing a receding horizon. The abrupt axing of team-provided housing strikes like a gut punch to rookies and overseas grinders, those hardship warriors who cross continents for every paycheck, forcing them to navigate the crush of urban living on shoestring budgets. And then there's the audacious shift of training camps to mid-March, a calendar collision that wars with the rhythm of college hoops and international leagues, threatening to splinter schedules and strain bodies already pushed to their limits in a grueling global gauntlet. These aren't mere details. They're the sinews of survival, the choices that will determine whether the WNBA evolves into an empire of empowerment or stagnates in the shackles of short-sightedness, with Clark's fever teammates and beyond hanging in the balance. As the clock ticks inexorably toward impasse, Silver's message to Clark transcends flattery, becoming a clarion call woven into the warp of a larger legacy, a subtle pressure on the WNBA's architects to honor the very spark that has illuminated their path. His words, delivered with the gravitas of a man who has steered the NBA through its own tempests, underscore a truth as old as competition itself. Popularity isn't a perk. It's power, a currency that must be cashed in before it corrodes. Clark, sidelined by injuries yet unyielding in influence, embodies this paradox. A figure whose global fandom has not only packed Gainbridge Fieldhouse to bursting but has rewritten the script of women's athletics, drawing in demographics once deemed distant, from casual scrollers to corporate boardrooms hungry for the next big bet. The Fever's surge under her banner, with attendance spiking 25 to 30% and sellouts becoming routine, mirrors a league-wide awakening, where every metric, from digital streams to sponsorship surges, bears her indelible mark. Yet, in this moment of maximum leverage, the CBA's haze casts long shadows, forcing a confrontation with the ghosts of inequities past. The overseas odysseys that drain dreams, the endorsement windfalls that mock modest salaries, the cultural shifts that demand structural sea changes. Silver's intervention, timed with the precision of a championship timeout, serves as both olive branch and gauntlet thrown, urging the parties to envision a future where Clark's $114,000 league paycheck evolves into a reflection of her $16 million empire, where the women who shatter ceilings finally claim the sky. In the quiet aftermath of Silver's broadcast, as the WNBA's power brokers huddle in smoke-filled virtual rooms, though the smoke is metaphorical, the stakes visceral, the narrative of this critical stage crystallizes into something profoundly human. A saga of women demanding their due in a world that profits from their prowess but hesitates to pay its toll. Clark, ever the fulcrum, stands as the unwitting symbol. Her journey from college court to cultural colossus a mirror held to the league's ambitions and its blind spots. Will the negotiations yield a covenant of equity, one that elevates rookies alongside icons and aligns revenues with respect? Or will the uncertainties fester, risking a lockout that dims the lights on the very stars who switched them on? As 2025 yields to 2026, the answer looms like the tip-off of a playoff game, pregnant with possibility and peril, a reminder that in the grand arena of progress, no victory is assured without the will to fight for it. This is more than a contract, it's a compact with destiny, and Caitlin Clark, with her unerring vision, may just be the one to guide it home. What do you see unfolding in this high-stakes showdown? Will Silver's words tip the scales toward a transformative deal, or does the WNBA risk fracturing the momentum Clark has built? Share your boldest predictions in the comments, and let's unpack the drama together. If this deep dive into the battles shaping women's hoops has you fired up, hit that like button to amplify the conversation, subscribe for more unvarnished explorations of the games that redefine us, and ring the bell to stay locked in for every twist in the tale. Your voice is the next play. Let's make it count.